can just put this in.
What was I gonna say? Shoot, what did I say before? Something 3.
3, 2.
Level 3 or something. Or something 3.
I don't remember.
It was like edition 3rd edition.
Oh yeah, okay.
Fire. Ready? Let's go, 3rd edition.
I'm not even editing it, so. Welcome back to Tab Snapper and your favorite MMA show on the internet. I'm your host, Eddie, and this is my co-host,
Jared.
And today we'll be talking about
today we're going to be bringing back some memories from the last 3 UFC events.
Yes, we will.
The last 3 events, all Fight Island events, were, had a lot of implications for the future of all the divisions.
Yeah.
Because we've had like 6 title fights, 6 or 7 title fights, and a lot has went down in those 7 or 6 title fights.
Yeah, the UFC 251 card was stacked. He doesn't agree with me. I think it was stacked. And 3 championship fights, so divisions are going to start moving. So let's talk about the first title bout of the night. It was the bantamweight title with Peter Yan and Jose Aldo. And what did we predict? I picked Yan.
I picked Aldo.
You picked Aldo. Yan won.
Didn't really expect that because you haven't really seen Peter Yan in a lot of 5-round fights. A lot of those. I think he really pushed the pace, and I think Aldo is on his way out, even though he's only like 30 years old or something. I think he should go back up to featherweight, even though he says that he's better at bantamweight. I think that fight had a lot of implications for that division because now obviously the only fight to make would be Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. He's the number 1 contender. He's been the number 1 contender for like the last I don't know how many cards. He beat Corey Sandhagen. He's on a 6-fight win streak, and he's beaten pretty much all of the top contenders. He deserves the next shot at the 135 division.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Now let's move on to the featherweight fight. It was Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway. I said, who did I say to win?
You picked Holloway to win.
I picked Max.
And I picked Volkanovski. But I'll stand corrected though because Holloway did win that fight.
Max
and
won.
A bunch of the referees said he won that fight. Everyone agreed that Holloway had won that fight. It was. You can't ever leave it up to the judges because you're putting the fate of your fight in the hands of 3 people who have no relationship with you, have no connection to you, and they're just gonna pick the way they see it. And a lot of the judges aren't qualified to be in those positions.
No.
So Volkanovski got the split decision, debatable, and a lot of people are saying that they should get a 3rd fight, which could see in the future.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they should do it, but I think Max needs another win. And if Volkanovski loses to the next challenger, so be it. I don't think they have any much of a real rival. Volkanovski
came out. He said the next fight that he would take would be against Zabit or Chen Sung-jung, and either one of those fights are very interesting fights. So
interesting. All right, guys. We're gonna move up to welterweight now for the main event with Kamaru Usman and George Masvidal. We both said Usman was gonna win, and I think most people with half a brain thought Usman was going to win. Some guy taking a fight on 6 days' notice. And Usman has a style that will perfectly combat a kickboxer. And I think even if Masvidal had a true full camp, he was going to win this fight anyway. Kamaru was going to win this fight anyway. And what do you think?
I think Kamaru Usman's very boring. I think he should have lost to Kobe K.S. Covington.
Yes. And
I think this was a fake fight because Jorge Masvidal is a 2nd-tier fighter with about 13 losses on his record. Why did he get a title shot?
Yeah, 14
now. Why did he get a title shot? He beat Nate Diaz on a referee stoppage or a doctor stoppage, and he beat Ben Askren, and that gives him the title shot. I think this was a very poor fight for Kamaru Usman to take. I don't think they were to accord for the pay-per-view buys. I think the undercard, or not the undercard.
I think the whole card itself.
But the 4 fights before that fight brought in the pay-per-views.
Paige Van Zandt is the reason why they had it.
I think he needs to fight either Kobe, Gilbert Burns, or Leon because those are the correct fights to take. Most of his wins are very boring. He's a very boring fighter, and I predict that he's going to lose the belt in one of his next title fights.
Totally agree.
Alright, moving on to the next UFC card.
Yeah, Fight Night.
172.
Yeah.
We had Jimmy Rivera versus Cody Stamann. Very big fight for both fighters, respectively. Jimmy Rivera coming off, I think, 1 or 2 losses, and he really showed how good of a fighter he was in this fight. Cody Stamann, a very, very good fighter. Has always been on the brink of being a top 5, 6, 7 fighter. It was really domination too. Jimmy controlled the whole entire fight. I think he won all 3 rounds, and very, very good fight for him. And I think I can see him in getting a #1 contender fight in the next 1 or 2 fights for him. So
yeah,
it was very big for him.
I agree. The thing that stood out to me the most is his takedown defense. I mean, Cody's takedowns and his wrestling is what he's known for, and Jimmy actually took him down more times with less attempts than Cody did, which I found to be very interesting.
He's a very good fighter.
Yeah.
He's been in the top 5
for a long time.
He's been very close to the title. Look to see him getting a title shot the next 2 or 3 fights for him.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the next fight on this card, Calvin Kattar versus Dan Ige. Everyone was looking forward to this fight. It really did not. It showed that it was a good fight, but there was a direct winner the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot how many rounds Calvin took. It was definitely
5. Sorry.
Mothership. Are you intoxicated or something?
I think it was unanimous decision. Real
Oh my God.
dominance shown here in this fight.
9 takedowns, he stuffed every single one. That's ridiculous.
Oh my God. That's crazy. Dan Ige is an up-and-coming fighter. He's won a lot of fights. Still has a ways to go. I think Kattar moves into that, gets a #1 contender fight next.
Yeah.
Maybe against Zabit. Did he lose to Zabit?
He lost to Zabit, but I'm pretty sure he took that in short notice.
Maybe you do Zabit versus Calvin Kattar too.
Yeah.
Or
And I'd argue
against Max Holloway.
I'd argue that Calvin took that last round against Zabit.
Okay, moving on to the next. Okay, so in this card, there's two fights that really stick out. We have Jack Hermanson versus Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum, very small 185, very small middleweight, going against a high quality fighter. I don't think he belongs at 185, even though he had that run where he was doing very well and he got that interim title fight against Adesanya. I think he's too small. I think he's a baby when it comes to cutting that weight. He looks a little chunky all the time, and he's not a contender anymore. I can't see him being any higher than maybe 8 after this fight. Hermanson moves into that spot where he could probably get a fight against the winner of Till versus Whitaker, or
Loser.
or the loser even. But he's looking very good. It was a very quick fight. You didn't really see much, but
I didn't see
I think it was a heel hook.
Yeah, the only thing that I saw was Kevin Gastelum's Greco come in and actually took Jack down. And then after that, there's the heel hook is what happened. And there's 2 ways to defend a heel hook. There's the easy way, which is just go with the pressure and keep rolling. And then there's kind of the more advanced way, which is go into it, and then there's a way to get your leg out. And but that is a risk. Calvin took the risk, and it didn't go well.
Everyone that's watching the video right now, if you see a UFC fighter get submitted with a heel hook, you need to protest that the UFC fire him, make him quit MMA, and retire from the UFC. If you get submitted with a heel hook, it is so hard to get a heel hook because it's so easy to defend. Literally just move your leg out of the way. There's 2 ways to get a heel hook. A roll into it, or you get in the guard and you roll to it. That's the only 2 ways to get a heel hook. It's not like a regular submission. It's the easiest one to defend. So if you get heel hooked, you need to retire from the sport.
I don't agree.
Alright, next fight on this card, we have Davison Figueiredo versus Joseph Benavidez.
Yeah.
This fight had already taken place, but there was a lot of controversy. Figueiredo,
It's interesting, the stats don't look, if you don't look at the knockdowns, you look at the actual strikes, they look close, but if you watch this fight, it is not even close.
last fight Figueiredo missed weight by about 2 pounds, and he also, there was a headbutt headbutts are illegal in the UFC, and it was a crazy fight.
Unintentional.
Yeah, this time they both weighed in, they both made weight, and just total domination by Figueiredo.
Yeah.
I think he had 4 submission attempts, 4 knockdowns in the first.
Two knockdowns, 4 submission attempts.
Yeah.
Still, it was just total dominance. Joseph Benavidez couldn't get anything going, and it was just complete dominance by.
Figueiredo really big 125. I can see him holding the belt for at least 3-4 title bouts.
Easily.
Yeah.
He's huge for that weight class.
Yeah, this flyweight division though, I mean, it's not very competitive, but they were talking about getting rid of it a few years ago. I think he could possibly make a change and bring it back to where people would actually want to watch flyweight fights.
Yeah. Henry Cejudo saved the division. I mean, he did.
Yeah.
Saved the division. You got TJ Dillashaw to come down, and it helped. It really helped.
Alright. Please like, comment, and subscribe
And share.
so that we can get just as notorious as Joe Rogan. And share with your friends, because I know everyone likes seeing our beautiful faces.
Are we good looking? Alright guys, see you next week. Peace.